acknowledgement of country. Honour to the Whadjuk clan of the Noongar Nation who camped near this spot on the shore of the Forgotten Lakes. Let what we say and hear today be a tribute to them. Respect for their knowing, acknowledge our unknowing, and hope for acceptance in this land. Thank you. Quick audience poll. Is it appropriate to clap the acknowledgement of country? Yes? Okay. All right, then clap away. Hooray. Yes. Okay. All right. A poem for you. Lamb of God, in my soul see South Korean Jesus, ex-best friend's apartment, had a lamb with a human face. Hear my confession, fruits of actions, high school chapels, pimple betrayals. Take away my sin of love and take away pizza bearing corn and pineapple. Lamb of God, it's the mutton of missed opportunity that takes me back to that cold rooftop. Count 19 red neon crosses, then wipe my mouth with sanitized Jesus. Lamb of God, through lies and smiles, your eyes still follow me around that apartment. Can my bare feet wipe clean on her heart rug? Hear my prayer. Grant me peace. Thank you. Too kind, too kind. Okay, now we're going to have some open mic for you and... of course, how could I forget? SPM to the stage, SPM!
Hello. So just in honour of the writing group that's reading today, I thought I'd read a poem about my mum. Water magic. Coax pattern with prayer, sky into tank. At dawn, I bring water into a cool room. Morning brings ritual, you. We gather as if this were a place of work, which it is because all family as labour needs constant tending as if checking in. Unconditional, our love is service at kitchen's altar. We pile pills as sacrament, vitamins in my palm, medication in yours. You always drink first from the jug, my handprint engulfing the fade of yours, how walls bless and press into us, smudge as if space cleansed. One day the topography of my skin shall also stretch through a century. How those age spots were not there when you first baptized me beneath the current of your lungs. My shell ears are hungry for tidal worship, the torrent of tales you regale spilling from the liminal space of you, quavering between here and the next place. Your life is a spirit you give away in fragments and fables, as if anecdotes are an antidote to disappearance. We cannot hold on to a river, a creek. Liturgy is an eventuality. It shall collect at the edge of thirst's lip, drown all land we have salvaged in this house built. We can hear the vibration of how this will end. After a day of listening to it approach, encroach, I am exhaustion. At night, I release brine from my eyes, turn sheets white with saltlates, ache. This is preparation. But every morning I rehydrate, check in with you, make sure you don't ache too much. Listen to sea, revel in the bloom of spume you've remembered, beached. Then I travel outside. Ask the rain, rain, come, hide us from death in the skirt of yourself. I know that in the cycle of such things that the weather brings, a drought shall follow this. And when it does, it shall be you whom the earth swallows. Thank you.
Let's hear it for SPM and all the mothers in the room. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Okay, baby talk to the mic, baby talk. Claps all the way till he gets on the stage. Baby talk.
This is not mine. I didn't write this. This is song lyrics to a song by the White Stripes, and the song's called Take, Take, Take. I was sitting there in a comfortable chair, and that was all that I needed. Then my friend offered me a drink for us to share, and that was all that I needed. Well, then I felt at ease, but then I'm not too hard to please. I guess you couldn't call me greedy. And I was shocked to look up and see Rita Hayworth there in a place so seedy. She walked into the bar with her long red curly hair, and that was all that I needed. And I said to my friend, good God, we're lucky men just to even see her. Yeah, I could not resist. I just had to get close to her, and that was all that I needed. I walked and loomed around her table for a while, and that was all that I needed. Then I said, I hate to bug you, ma'am, but can I have your autograph? And that was all that I needed. She pressed her lips against a white piece of paper, and that was all that I needed. Then I saw what she wrote, my heart is in my mouth, and that was all that I needed. Then she handed it to me, and I think she could see that was all that I needed. I started to walk away, but then I remembered, hey, I forgot to get a picture. So I asked her one more time, can I have another favour? That was all that I needed. She was kind to pose with me. Then I knew my friends would see my celebrity meeting. She turned and said to me, I need to go to sleep. And it seemed so mean. It's almost as if she could not appreciate how cool I was being. She said goodnight and walked away. And I didn't know what to say. I just couldn't believe it. Well, it's just not fair. I wanted to get a piece of her hair. And that was all that I needed. Or maybe a kiss on the cheek. I wouldn't wash it for a week. That would be all that I needed. But she didn't even care that I was even there. What a horrible feeling. Thank you.
Thank you, Baby Talk, for that treatise on celebrity in our modern world. Okay, Jan Napier. Now, Jan, are you reading your own work today? Okay, let's give it up for Jan and her own work.
Okay, thanks, sweetie. Yeah, good. Okay. Again, thinking of Jaya and her friends performing today, this is a really feminist poem, guys. It's called Women are Green Woods. Women are green woods, cool glades and dells laved with striped light, where rain glazes amaranth. Snakes flow like streams. Piney winds probe crevices now shawled in moss and tendrilled by silvery ferns. And even stepping stones, slimy as lies, hold within themselves a cold fire of comets. Women are green woods, and in these spaces we have made, days peel like orange skin, no creature bleeds, and we reach and reach, soundless as trees, towards warmth. Let our fruitings and fallings remain unshadowed, and fences serious with creosote screen us from steel freeways, where our silence can't be heard. Thanks.
And that segues so nicely into me announcing the Women's Writing Circle. So this Women's Writing Circle is called In This Body Are Gardens. Now Jaya's going to let us know a little bit more about it. So let's give it up for Jaya.
Thanks. So it actually all began with a table. My friend rang me up and asked me if I would like a table, and then carried in this amazing big round oaken table. And I'd been wanting to run a women's writing circle for a long time, and once the table arrived, I knew that it was the right time. So that was about 4 years ago. And since then, almost weekly, we've been meeting In that time, I would say about 50 different people, if we had everyone arrive at the same time, have come and gone from the writing circle, ranging in age from 19 to early 70s. We're a generative writing circle, so we often write in response to texts by other women or other poets, particularly from sacred writing traditions. We don't really look at crafting or editing so much, so I guess the emphasis is on authenticity, playfulness, safety. We've had tears, we've had laughter, we've had lots of chai. Some of the women that are getting up today, it will be the first time that they've ever read something that they've written in this kind of context, so please be warmly supportive of that. Some of the women who are getting up you may already know. Some are quite experienced in sharing their work in one context or another. So I'm just going to tell you everyone's names. So in the first set, you'll be hearing from Bevy Barker, Ginny Webb and Kat Grimbley. In the second set, you'll be hearing from Kate Wilson, Raylene Brunismar, Sandy Walker and Sui Johansson. So just to warm the space, I'm going to share with you a found poem that I wrote in the circle, actually taking lines from other people's work. So this is taking lines from work by Sandy, Breda, Jilly and Kat. It doesn't have a name. I would not like to hate myself every autumn, to stand waist deep in wetlands, to be one of those women. Give me an old friend and a teapot. My tongue that tastes, black mulberries stain the way in. I am somewhere on a path, singing yes and yes, strangers and strays at my solid oaken table. Free from the distraction of men, I will build my house with walls of tears, fold my long skirts into deep roots of belonging. Bevy.
Morning poem. Every morning the world is created from prayers and apples and the calls of small children. Every morning the distant crescent moon fades into sunbeams and roses blossom. Every morning the shuffle of the homeless in their sleeping bags pull blankets over their heads. Every morning the babies awake and look at the painted walls and ask, "Is it me?" with quizzical gazes as people gather around and arms enfold and the smell of milk and warm breast is offered anew. Every morning the old woman slowly emerges from a world where edges blur. The dream feels stronger than the urge to get out of bed and into this day. The work of living getting more of a struggle, rather succumb to warm reveries among pillows. Watch the day in the window, it suffices. The light, the clouds, the clatter of passers-by in the street. Every morning a world of promises, of new wishes and aspirations, the freshness of morning light, soft blues, silver cloud drifts. People sit in quiet before the world awakes, soft odes. May my life be good, may my family and friends flourish, may our beautiful earth heal. Birds call and sing and fly, gather afresh in their flocks. Dogs are walked, breakfast is made. It's a new day, this day. Old house. I love old houses with peeling paint, old banksia trees grown huge, unruly gardens, wild grasses and weeds. I love buildings that aren't torn down or renovated, that are allowed to be themselves, to let nature creep back in, the spiders spinning and catching in the eaves, the lizards sunning on weathered steps, the windows open, old verandas with old couches and tables, people sitting, watching shadows form. And I will live in a house like that and do nothing, absolutely nothing to that house. Let it be itself. Let its floorboards creak. Hear the murmuring of the children's voices playing in the breeze. Smell of oil splotches in the battered garage. The gum tree has grown massive. The birds have found a home, and each year the carnabies return to roost. Scent of flowers in soil churned by earthworms amidst wild nasturtiums and buzzing bees and cabbage moths and kale gone rampant. And I will sit and do absolutely nothing to that house. Thank you.
I am Tokelau. You will rise up, and engulf all three of my tiny islands. A watery thief stealing my tropical finery. I am Kiribati. My women will no longer sing songs of collective anxiety as their men disappear in fragile canoes over the horizon in search of fish to fill the bellies of our children. No, they will be joining the clamour of lifeboat-going people and those who will be airlifted away from me, their home for millennia, as I go under, yielding to the voracious licking of your enormous watery tongue. All the regalia, all the customs, all the ancient island wisdom dragged along with me to the bottom of the ocean or sent to places unknown, devoid of colour and finery, in exchange for measly refuge. And this one's called Inland, perhaps a safe place to be in relation to the last one. Is it a more loving affinity for rock and earth that has driven me inland? For a while now, I have mostly dwelt near the ocean, my soul basking in the sea or stretched out upon light-dappled sand. Now, I stand on granite promontories. Stars shoot from toes that still balk at rooting themselves here. I should have worn my spectacles. I think I'll be okay. Lightning flashes along the curvature of stone and thigh and sets my belly ablaze with both fear and homewardness. I have exchanged fins for paws, scale for fur, feather for femur. Now I howl at the moon from atop mountains instead of drifting like flotsam towards islands on the horizon. My feet slowly start to spread and splay, their soles kissed by moss and mud, as I outgrow mermaid fins. My voice is familiar, but it echoes now about the canyons instead of being swallowed up, waves rising high between me and the horizon, just short of a tsunami. Now, suns set over mottled vistas of trees and grass and distant rivulets, encased in orange walls. As I cast my gaze to the other end of the spectrum, away from the turquoise and the azure haze that has held me spellbound for so long.
Hi everybody, I'm one of the people who Haven't ever read poetry to such a big audience before. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Okay, so the first piece is called Hold Fast. I will hold fast to my loneliness and treat it as a friend. I welcome it and find great joy, great freedom, great strength. For my heart needs its time to heal, and for now, the touch of a man holds too much fear, too much danger. The danger of loving and being loved, and of being left. The danger of feeling trapped, suffocated, with a voice that cannot call out for help. I will hold fast to my loneliness for now, and take my needs for touch from the great masculine in the sky, as he shines down, caressing my skin with warmth, and I can be free to be however I am, for he has no voice to criticize and no hands to hold me down. I will massage my skin with the grainy sand on the beach and fall asleep wrapped in the warm blanket of earth below and sky above, the gentle sighs of the ocean as she breathes. I will hold fast to my loneliness until I remember that I am me, and that me is soft, courageous, vulnerable and strong, and perfect in all imperfection. Thanks. The second one doesn't have a title. I started out writing it to my ex-partner, and halfway through it kind of changes to being for my dad. Surrender into loneliness, surrounded by loving friends. Trying and failing to connect. Does this grief have an end? The guilt it strikes right to my heart to see our friendship end. How I wish I could let go of love and see you as a friend. I pray to the west each morning that I learn how to let go, but every time I see you, my courage seems just to show. And who are you really? A man of flesh and bone, imprinted deep into my soul, the feeling that you're home. And how, oh how, I pray, do I let you go? I cannot force or fake it. I must reach deep and grow. So grow I will and summon the strength to reach my roots, deep down to find earth's wisdom, to nourish well my fruits. And reach my branches to the sky, seek heaven and my dad. Know he's watching over me with all the love he has. Dad, dear Dad, I miss you. I so wish you were here to nurse my broken heart for me and soothe away my fear. To play a game of rummy, rub your warmth into my feet. Your hands forever warm, your house that's never neat. Dad, dear Dad, I love you. I can't believe you're gone. Forever keeps on lasting, 8 years since you changed form. And I will never see you again, or feel my hand in yours. So big and warm it covered mine as we walked the river shore. Now I am a woman, a little girl no more. Now it's time to hold myself as my tears begin to pour. I hold you in my memories, cradling Kaya with such love, listening to the Rolling Stones, praying to God above. Dad, dear Dad, I love you. I wish I'd shown it more. Wish I'd had the words and heart I hadn't found before. Dad, dear Dad, I thank you for all your love and care, for the path you began to walk, a path that I now share. And I will journey onwards, healing our family lines. Generations of unshed tears will all be healed in time.
Amazing. And I'm sure everyone here will join me in congratulating the women for their honesty and imagery and beauty. Audience? Well done. And we will hear more from the Women's Writing Circle in the second half, which is great, and I'm really looking forward to that. But for now, let's go back to open mic and Marion Welligan. Marion Welligan, we welcome you.
Okay. Hi there. I'm going to read one from Maya Wotak. It's called Silence. I am the weakest wayfarer. Everyone crashes into me. But when I break, I'm never broken. When I break, I never break my word. I am silence. Leave your trips to the sauna, your self-tied hands, your diaries and computer problems behind, and follow me. I'll survive everyone. Turn like a beast with giant faces. Pillars will topple across the ant trail of your busyness. You won't be able to get round me. You will weep as you do already, but more sincerely. I'll empty you like a pocket full of trivia. Your fertility, I'll subtitle it with speechlessness. ... Thank you.
Thank you, Marion. I was at that performance too last year. Wasn't it amazing? Okay, so let's welcome Tim Parkin, sober and laundered. Tim Parkin.
Hello. First, I'd like to apologise to just about everyone for the drunken fuckwit I've been, and particularly the absinthe and whiskey day. No more weed, no more alcohol, no more self-pity poems. Yeah, I'm going to behave myself. Hey. This poem is about a friend of mine who's passed on. It's called For an Old Woman. Am I pretty when I smile? Am I too ancient to rev your engine? Am I too plain and enfeebled to be worthy of love? Will you possess me to prove masculinity? Are my wrinkles disheartening? Is my dyed grey hair fooling no one? Invisible as wind to men. Military veteran, soldier, manly man, I dream of you, overwhelmed by flicker flashes of wordless companionship. We delight in touch of skin, binary stars bound by gravitation, exchanging fiery fusion. We loop and spin in affection. Assessor of my flesh, is there no place for me now my children have grown up and I am subject to life's cruel impermanence? My friend Lee, aged prematurely by a traumatic life, she brooded on her husband's death from cancer, on green shoots of youth forever lost, on the wayward childhood of her drug-fucked son, so evil he was banned from owning animals and scammed her pension frequently. But she loved him as mothers do. She fed him before herself, and she gave him money to spend on the inevitable heroin and meth. The remainder on strong cigarettes to punctuate her acceleration toward death. But her heart was radiant compassion. She fed the homeless in cans. She visited kids with cancer. She suffered with the suffering and blessed the damned. She even cleaned my disgusting house. True friend, I will always regret teaching her how to use Facebook. A Nigerian predator smelt prey and tricked her savings away. Thoughts of deception never swam the turbid waters of her mind, and the meagre $5,000 of inheritance from a mother who never returned her love, she had to claw off her hateful siblings. She died 2 weeks later, when reality jerked her into sorrow. They say she died from a heart attack, but I know it was a broken heart.
Thank you, Tim. And I think we can give him extra claps for his efforts. Sober, weed-free, drug-free. Amazing. Keep up the hard work. Keep it up. Okay, so now we're going to hear from Ed O'Mara, a second timer. Ed O'Mara.
Right, this is my, I wrote this during the week actually. It's called Timid Fury. Okay, I dream redemption comes to pass, do not know, will it at last? Nightmare of failure, in cahoots, in my mind, my spine it loots. All these worries, sleight of brain, just, unjust, they are the same. As waters reeling off the land, Christ, indifference is at hand. Love the shift, I love the crows, murders ending all my woes. Life makes me, oh, such a mess, enough for a soul to bless. One with stringent holds on a fury, not a soul should pray. For my colour or my sword, reasons why I'm just ignored. Whisper gracious, fuel if any, career towards one life or many. Bestow a treasure on the masses, inflict myself with many lashes. Fly and soar, a prude, a man. Cliffs I climb them if I can. Halos, stalemates, curious flaws. Chosen chameleons infuriate laws. Shallow, a dame, a fighter, a rope. Endeavours so ludicrous no one will cope. Lucifer making one life for me, one I can't explain to thee. Knowledge of a thought I'm dreaming, disbelief of my mind seeming. Such a task, my will I can't. Such a mask, a chill I shan't. I draw a line and draw it straight and rule my crime for just the date. My domain, I'll own it strong. I'll be bigger than King Kong. A twitch, a scurry and a toast to my life of which I boast. Lasting cheer, outlasting sneer, do not like as it's too dear. Possession of a timid, furious blossom that is only curious. A feeble wimp that does not harp on anything when things are dark. I try explain, I dare refrain, I purify my dwindled brain. At a cost, while all is lost, as I listen I am bossed. Towards some light, it's cold enough for the warmth to take hold. Sheer complaints, I'm in restraints. One word's too much as it taints all the traffic on the road, brighter lifting my abode. I wash my face with a storm, wishing well since I was born. As I think I'm on the brink, likelihood there is I'll sink, pans out nice. I am the same, one who started out this game. Driven by myself, I drive the farthest, when do I arrive? Could be when I come undone, past the curtains that I shun. For when I am told that I have obtained the freedom of the sky, I will smear it on his face, all my shit shan't go to waste. Torment drives me, love unwinds me, all of this furor it blinds me. Safe to say it is unjust, place dismay among the rust. There are questions for tomorrow, one of those strange days I borrow. Please repent of my own sins, cease descent of those stone grins. O the world, the fruitful shining in the earth, of youthful dining, on the treasure in my maze, ever after lasting stays. Cheers. Thanks.
Well done, Ed. Good effort. Okay, Peter Burgess to the microphone. Another ESL teacher. Hands up, ESL teachers. Yeah! Yeah, claps for Peter.
Not sure I should be claiming that one. That's since I was not qualified at the time. Never mind. This first poem's called just Nullius. In our mansions, apartments, under bridges, in hovels, on benches, we sit for hours studying our navels, or looking seaward, imagine umbilicals connecting us to that vast womb. Or sit heads bent, unable to bear the glare of the land at our backs, the burr of its nullius, wrought by words and guns. Imagine too, perhaps, that our navels glare back with baleful eye at souls which yearn for belonging. No, they have clung too long to the darkness that deafens us to the land's calling, through shimmer of deserts, billabongs, through the fears blinkering our ears that will not be denied but will raise tsunamis until we take the offered hand. For redemption comes slow, it seems, and only after screams and rebirth, after love finds peace at last and the land swaddles us all about. And my next one's called It's okay. Do they rest at last? And it's done as a sort of funerary or obituary notice. Yeah. Reinterred now, no longer lying open to winds to which once they sang, that sang in them. Are they cocooned, dark shining in rainbow serpent skins? And do they rest at last? Dream? Or do they, their spirits too long ravaged by history's taints, their eyes too long cataracted by museums' colonial neons, yet itch and burn, seep tears? And why this wash of comfort through me, when surely loss and rage should still sear spines, scald throats? For though some songs yet reverberate, burrow into screes, dwell as small creatures in dry scrub, corroboree with lizards, then flit with moonlight and vagrant stars, perhaps they, so hale-lunged once, lie now deep-wrapped beneath lost languages and husks of lore, from where, as purposeless seeming as the chitter of insects, they watch helpless through cold sods as their people shop with plastic money, doss in doorless aluminium humpies on white-managed stations, or in run-down suburban sprawls. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Fantastic work there. Okay, now we have a first-timer, Mick Devine. So extra welcomes for Mick Devine.
Good afternoon. I've got a couple I'd like to do. One's called The Waiters. Closer. On candelabred, white-draped tables, in a snowbound restaurant, a barn of a place on the other side of town, in a country that was never mapped, the fingers of discarded thoughts tap and tap as they wait and wait for waiters to bring news of dates who won't show up. Still young, dressed to the nines, these memories have lost the minds from which they sprang. They check their watches. It's a long night for the exes of the late demented. Pearl necklaced, evening gowned, as they sit around and curse the geriatric poets on whose young lips they'd played. Summer songs that never saw the light of day. Strutting like a peacock in a young chanteuse's dream, they'd been forgotten come the morning. Coiffured, bibbed and tuckered, itching for a dance, they now have bugger all to do. The love notes scrawled on walls at school, the daydreams of the typing pool, a shop assistant's reverie, a bottle message lost at sea. The wasted days of boxers, head the balls and drunks, the mislaid hours of glued up punks. These memories have lost the minds from which they sprang. Rugged-assed or swathed in sable, they tapped their fingers on the candelabred, white-draped tables, trapped in a snowbound barn. In another country, on a summer's day, an older woman taps her walking stick along the pavement. She stops, surveys the clouds. Looks like snow. She should go home, but no. She ducks into McDonald's, orders tea. Oh, and while I think of it, young man, a peacock sandwich, please. It tickled me. And this one's called Blub, Blub, Blub. Feeling glum, I went to see the quack. She prescribed Prozac, but it affected my hearing. So she sent me to a psychopath. He put me in an acid bath and reduced me to tears. I feel much better now I've cried the whole thing out. Ti-tum, no longer glum, living in an ore drum. Oh, we've got one more. And this one's called Porky Pie. The High Street, 4 a.m. A pig's head in the butcher's window. You don't see that often anymore. A bit too in your face, ha ha. Uh-oh. Too loud. There's a twitching round the snout. A voice comes out. Evening. The pig's head says my name. No offence, I stutter. By the way, what's with the power of speech? Only at night, it replied. 'Twas ever thus. When I was alive, we called the sty the chatterbox, the barnyard too. The quacks, the neighs, the clucks, the moos were all in perfect English when the moon arose. I suppose it was the ever-present sense of doom, the worry of it all. You couldn't let on what the humans were about, or they'd chop you up. By day, we feigned stupidity. Yes, so do I replied. It pays to keep your head down. Oh, sorry, no offence again. I'll say good night. Oh, by the way, I'm a vegetarian, I lied. A string of really flavoured sausages slithered from the letterbox. They wrapped around my trouser legs and pulled me through. Flesh is stripped from bone, and I am rendered edible. No, it didn't. Funny the places the night takes you. I see my reflection where the pig's face should be. Oh, dearie me, the worry of it all. I shuffled home, and the cat asked me how I am. In the living room, the budgie stares. I cover its cage, then from within, I hear, "Who's a pretty boy?" I make my way upstairs, past the children, bleating quietly in their sleep. The wife honking.
Well, everybody, do you think that we should invite Ed and Mick to come back and perform for us again? Yes? Well done. Good work. We love that. Okay, I'm going to do announcements and then I'll let you have a break. So, next week we have Cindy Moody and Gillian Taylor performing. Now, more on them in just a bit. Books, zines and leaflets on the zine table over there. Also, the contacts list for weekly email out and our Purple People Eater, which is our contributions box. So it's costing us $190 to run the gig today. So please, dollars, notes, gold and silver coins, whatever you can afford. We do not exclude if you cannot afford anything, however. Okay, so thanks to Ben on the sound desk. Thanks, Ben. And thanks to the Moon Cafe, so I'm inviting you during this break to maybe go and get a, hot tea or beer or whatever your poison. Okay, so events. Now, Kep Colini or Rain Coming. The Kep Colini poets are going to be performing here next week straight after Perth Poetry Club finishes. So if anyone's keen to see Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders do poetry readings, then here, Saturday, 5th of October, 4 to 6 p.m. Now, the feature poets next week, Cindy Moody and possibly also Gillian Taylor, they are the ones organising the Kip Collini Poets. So you could come for seeing them as feature poets during Perth Poetry Club and then stay for some more, which sounds amazing. All right, so Run Haiku Run, which is a workshop run by Rose Van Son next Saturday. And that's 10 to 11:45 p.m. and organised by WAPI. So more details from Peter. Peter? Yes? No, he's got no idea. Never mind. All right, I'm sure you can find details out. Jaya. Okay, Jaya, sweet. And Jaya can also let you know more information if you want to know about the Words Wide Night, which is on Tuesday the 15th of October. It's their first birthday gig, so exciting. It's the Shoe Bar and Cafe from 6:30 to 11 p.m. in Yagan Square. Okay, now I will let you have chit-chat and community building at your leisure, and hopefully I'll see you back here at 3 p.m. People.